The conclusion. Today in this video we are going to talk about how to write the conclusion, what is conclusion, what you should include in your IELTS writing task to conclusion, what is the structure you should follow for the conclusion task, and even you are doing a business writing or you are doing the academic project writing or presentation writing, then also you have to write the conclusion. So this video is going to be helpful for those people also. And in the previous video, we have talked about the how to write the introduction, what is introduction, what is the structure for the introduction, and what are the points that you should remember before writing the introduction. So if you haven't checked that video, then please do check that video first. Also friends, I will update the link in the description box below as well as in the cue card over here. So today in this video, we are going to talk about the conclusion. So without any further ado, let's proceed friends. Essay, the conclusion. So much is at stake in writing a conclusion. This is after all your last chance to persuade your reader about your point of view and to impress yourself as a writer and as a thinker to your reader, right? And the impression that you are going to create in your conclusion will shape the impression that stays with your readers after they have finished your essay. The end of the essay should, we can say the end of the essay should convey a sense of completeness and sense of closeness, as well as we can say a lingering possibilities with your topic. And this is how you should end your essay, right? Actually, it is a larger meaning. It is an implication. The final paragraph should close the discussion without closing it off actually, right? Let me tell you in a simple way that for example, if you are watching a movie or you are reading a topic or article in the magazine and the movie is the ending of the movie and the ending of the article is such a way that creates a huge impact on you that even you don't want to think on that topic, but still you don't manage to think on that, right? You cannot control yourself to think on that topic because the ending in that things are in such a way that it actually closes, but without closing it off, means they are stays with you, they are stays with your mind, right? So this is how your ending should be in your essay, right? It is actually a little bit difficult, but in this video we are going to talk about so many things regarding the conclusion so that you can understand it very well, okay? Now friends, what is a conclusion paragraph? So a conclusion is what you will leave with your reader. It wraps up your essay. It demonstrates to the reader that you have accomplished what you set out to do. It shows how you have proved your thesis, and it provides the reader with a sense of closure to the topic. So this is, we can say that we can define the conclusion in this manner, okay friends? Now let me tell you one more important thing, that there is a difference or there is a relation between introduction and conclusion. So let's talk about that little bit, because if you understand it very well, then you can also do a good work on introduction task and conclusion task, right? So actually we can say that introduction is the opposite of the conclusion, or conclusion is the opposite of the introduction, right? They are actually opposite. Now how they are opposite, let me explain you. In case of an introduction, what we do, in case of an introduction, we proceed or we begins with the general things and ends with the specific things, while in case of a conclusion we are doing is totally opposite. We proceed with the specific things and we ends with the general things. Now let me give you example so that you can understand it very well. For example, suppose there is a task on writing, we have to write something, or we have to write an essay on internet topic, or say benefits of the internet or advantage of the internet, right? So we have to note down some topics, right? If you follow our IELTS structure, then introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and conclusion. Now for internet we have to write the benefits. Now we are not going to write everything, we are going to choose 2 ideas and we are going to explain everything on that. So for example, we are noting down that ideas about the internet, and there are two main ideas. For example, the first is communication and education. Now internet has a huge impact on communication and education, we all know, right? So now we have our two ideas. Now we are going to start our introduction. So how we start the introduction? We are going to start introduction with very general information. For example, we will say that we might start with by saying that we are living in a globalization of era, or technology advancing rapidly, and internet is a boon for the society, right? So we are going to start with general topics. We all know these are the general topics, right? So, and then we are going to move to the main idea, right? Then we might say that and there are two main things that because of internet, that are the development of the two things are very much higher, that is communication and the education system, and I am going to explain this in the coming paragraph, that is body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. Then we are going to follow the structure for the body paragraph 1 and 2, and now we are going to write the conclusion. So in case of a conclusion, we are not going to start with the general things, we are going to start with the main idea only. That is, we are going to proceed with the specific things, that is, we are going to rephrase our sentence, right, regarding the communication and education, and then we are gonna end with the general thing, right? So this is how there is a difference between the introduction and the conclusion task. What to include, what to not include, and what is the structure that you are going to follow for your conclusion task. Okay, the first thing that you should remember is your conclusion wraps up your essay in a tidy package and brings it home for your reader. Okay, so this is the most important thing, that you have to wrap up your essay in a tidy package for the conclusion task. Okay, and another thing that you should remember is you should not add any extra information in your conclusion. You should not add any new idea in your conclusion. You just have to simply rephrase your ideas, your argument, and write down the conclusion only. Okay, you have to wrap up everything to make a conclusion. Okay, now the third and the most important thing is that when you start the conclusion paragraph, you should have to indicate that you are starting the conclusion paragraph, right? Your reader should understand that now you are going to write the conclusion. So you always have to start writing this paragraph by saying that in conclusion, or to conclude, or to sum up. There are a lot of phrases and words that you can use to start the conclusion. I have already make a video on that, and if you haven't checked that video yet, then I'm going to update the link in the description box below. You go and first check that video. About the structure to write the conclusion task. In the conclusion, friends, we are going to mainly focus on two kind of a statement. The first statement of your conclusion should be your topic sentence. The topic sentence over here in case of a conclusion is known as a restate your main idea, right? The main idea is, there are two main ideas actually, right? In case of for body paragraph 1 there is idea, for body paragraph 2 there is an idea. Okay, so you have to wrap up that idea in a one sentence, and then you have to write it the first sentence of your conclusion task, which is known as that sentence we indicate by saying that restate your main idea. That is also known as a topic sentence for the conclusion task. Okay, friends, and sometimes it is difficult to wrap up both the ideas in one sentence. Then you can make a separate sentence also. Okay, but try to wrap up both the ideas in one sentence only. Okay, now the most important thing that you should remember is that simply please don't copy and paste the idea from body paragraph to the conclusion, right? It is wrong method. You have to rephrase. That's why we say that restate your main idea. That is, you have to rephrase it. You can use a synonym, or you can go a little bit deeper, but do not introduce a new idea. Okay, so you have to remember this. Now the second sentence, that is known as a supportive sentence, or we can say that sentence as restate your argument or rephrase your argument, right? Okay, in case of a supportive sentence for the conclusion task, you have to rephrase your argument. Okay, the argument is that that you have explained something about your main idea. That is your argument, right? Your supporting sentence to your main idea from your body paragraph 1 and 2, you have to wrap up that sentence and rephrase your argument over here in a one sentence only. Okay, you have to try for one sentence only, but sometimes it is difficult, then you can make a two sentence also over here, friends. Okay, so these are the two main things that you should focus in case for writing the conclusion task. Okay, now the third thing is that it is difficult. The third sentence is difficult, and sometimes you have to avoid this sentence, right? You have to only focus on first two sentence first, actually, right? And if you want to achieve a 6 band score at least, then you should focus first very well on that first two sentences, right? Forget about the third sentence for now. And if you are really good and improving yourself in writing, then you should focus on the third sentence, that is known as the closing sentence. And let me tell you one more thing, that if you want to achieve a good band score, that is a 7 or more than 7 band score for particularly IELTS writing task, then you should focus on closing sentence also. Otherwise, if you want 6 or 6.5 band, then you should you can avoid this sentence, because it is actually really difficult, and if you make the mistake in this sentence, then you are going to lose the marks. Okay, the closing sentence is actually the ending sentence, right? This is known as a final word by you. Okay, we can say that in this you have to demonstrate the importance of your idea, or we can say that you have to prepare your reader to a new view of your topic, right? Or we can say that you have to end up in such a way that it should look a positive note, right? And your closing sentence should be in such a way that it should make your reader glad that they have read your essay, right? So as I told you, that it is something like an ending of a movie which is a really impactful on you, right? So the closing sentence is very, very important. It should be a happy ending kind of a sentence, or it should be a sentence that leave your readers mind in a thinking position, right? Even they have read your essay, but still they are thinking on some topics, because you have create some more points by saying the final sentence in your reader's mind. Okay, so this is how the structure. That look at the conclusion outline. There are 3 sentences in the conclusion, right? Mainly 2 sentences we are going to focus. The first is topic sentence. In that case, you have to restate your main idea, right? The second sentence is a supporting sentence. In that case, you are going to rephrase your argument or restate your argument. Okay, the third sentence, if you are able to write it, then it is known as the closing sentence, and it is your final word. It should connect your ideas with the introduction, right, and create a loop kind of a things, and it should give your readers to with the sense of closure. Okay, so this is the 3 sentences that you are gonna follow for your conclusion task, and this is our structure for the conclusion task. Okay, now let's see some examples so that you can understand how to write the conclusion for the different kinds of a topic. So in the examples, I am going to give you the IELTS writing task to topic, and directly I am going to explain the conclusion task. Okay, so let's see the example, friends.
So now we are going to see 3 examples regarding a conclusion task. Okay, in this we are going to cover the method that you should follow for the conclusion task, as we have already talked in the video. Okay, so but over here we are also going to see the introduction. Okay, so that you can easily compare the method of introduction as well as conclusion task. Okay, so let's proceed. The first question that we have is, many people choose natural healing methods such as acupuncture and massage therapy to recover from illness. Others prefer to use pharmaceutical drugs prescribed by their doctor for their ailments. Okay, so this is our today's question, and we are going to see introduction and then conclusion task. Okay, so let's focus on the introduction first. Over here we can see from the question that there are 2 main ideas. The first idea is natural healing method, and the second idea is pharmaceutical drugs. Okay, so these are the 2 main idea, and by using this idea we are going to write body paragraph 1 and 2. Okay, but here we are only going to focus on introduction task and conclusion task. Okay, so let's see the introduction task. Remember the structure for the introduction, that is hook statement, and and thesis statement. Now let's let's read the hook statement first. Health has the greatest value for nearly any individual human. Remember friends, as I told you in the video, that in case of introduction we starts with the general and ends with specific. So you can see, you can observe over here that we have start with the general things. We all know that health has the greatest value for nearly any individual human. It is a general thing, right? And a person must feel strong and healthy in both mind and body in order to feel content and contribute to society. Okay, you can observe over here that it is also a general thing. And after that, now we are going to move toward the specific things. Okay, so this is a proper method to follow in case of introduction, and completely opposite we are going to see in the conclusion task. Okay, so now let's read ahead. Unfortunately, sickness from bacteria, virus and other teratogens results in symptoms like headaches, nausea, cramps and other negative effects which signal the person to find a cure. I believe that both natural and pharmaceutical treatment is effective in helping a patient heal. So in case of a thesis statement, it indicates that we are going to discuss, that I am going to discuss about natural healing methods and pharmaceutical healing methods in the coming paragraphs. Okay, so this is how we are going to follow a structure for the introduction task, that is a hook statement and thesis statement. Okay, now let's move to the directly to the conclusion task, because we are focusing on the conclusion over here, right? Remember, in case of a body paragraph 1 and 2, we are going to write natural and pharmaceutical treatment topics. Okay, for body paragraph 1 we will follow a natural treatment topic, and for body paragraph 2 we are going to follow a pharmaceutical treatment topic. Okay, so now let's see the conclusion directly. In case of a conclusion, we are going to follow the method that I have mentioned earlier in this video, that is the topic sentence, supporting sentence and closing sentence. Okay, for this example only I am going to write down the closing sentence also, right? But you don't have to worry about it in every example. Okay, just focus on topic sentence and supporting sentence for the conclusion task. And this is the topic sentence over here, that is, we know the topic sentence for the conclusion task as a restate your main idea, right? So what is your main idea over here? And that natural and pharmaceutical treatment is the main idea over here, right? So we have to start always by saying that in conclusion we have to indicate that we are going to write the conclusion, right? So in conclusion, both natural and pharmaceutical interventions can benefit people's health. So this is the main idea that we have rephrased over here, right? We have used some other vocabs like interventions can benefit people's health. Okay, now the second sentence, as I told you that we have to try hard to combine to wraps up both the ideas in one sentence, and I have tried to capture both the ideas in one sentence over here, that is natural and pharmaceutical treatments. Okay, but I haven't used a treatment word over here again and again. Okay, just try to rephrase it. Okay, now let's read the second sentence, that is supportive sentence. We indicate this sentence as a to restate your arguments. Okay, restate your argument. So let's read the argument, that is rephrased argument over here. Natural medicines can be more sympathetic to the body during the healing process. However, medical drugs' fast and intense action can be the only choice. Okay, so you can understand that for body paragraph 1 I am going to give some supporting sentence regarding the natural treatment, that the effect of that treatment is little bit slow but effective, right? And a treatment of pharmaceutical drugs is faster and intense, and sometimes we need that only, right? So this is the supportive sentence. This is my argument in the body paragraph 1 and 2. I have just rephrased that argument and write down in a one sentence over here, right? And the last sentence, that is a closing sentence, which is really difficult sometimes to write down in the conclusion task, right? So you can avoid this sentence also. So let's read this sentence over here. It is good that seek or injured people have the option of choosing the right healing approach for them, right? So they have to choose their healing approach, right, by themselves only. So this is the closing sentence, we can say a take home message kind of a sentence, that is our last sentence, and it gives the readers the sense of completion, sense of closing, right? Okay, so that's it for today in this example. Now let's move to the next example. So the next example is, let's read the question together. It is generally believed that the internet is an excellent means of communication, but some people suggest that it may not be the best place to find information. Discuss both these views and give your opinion. Okay, so this is the question regarding the internet, and we have to focus on the communication. Some says that communication is very excellent means because of the internet, but some people says that it is not so effective because they believe that the finding is the because they believe that the information on the internet is not always right, it is difficult or it is wrong information. So we have to discuss both this view and then we have to give our opinion. So let's focus on the introduction first. In case of introduction, we are going to focus on hook statement and thesis statement. So let's read the hook statement first. It is usually thought that the internet is a wonderful medium of convenience, but few individuals propose that it may not be the best platform to get knowledge. Okay, so this is the hook statement. As I told you, in case of introduction, we starts with the general things and ends with the specific, right? It is usually thought that the internet is a wonderful medium of a convenience, but few individuals propose that it may not be the best platform to get knowledge. Okay, and the thesis statement, in which we give our opinion. So in my opinion, internet is a boon to our civilization, but I also agree that all the information on the internet is not genuine. Okay, so this is the complete thesis statement. And in case of a body paragraph 1 and 2, I am going to write down two ideas, right? Two ideas that for first paragraph, maybe I will write the because I am agree, I am agree also, but I said that all the time the information on the internet is not genuine. Okay, so let's move to the conclusion task now. In case of a conclusion, we are going to see the main topic sentence, that is restate the main idea. In conclusion, even though internet has mainly benefits for people, lives and society, it also has some negative impacts as well. So in case of a body paragraph 1 and 2, in first I am going to talk about the benefits of the internet, and in the second I am going to talk about the negative points of the internet, and I just wraps up both the ideas over here, and then I make a main topic sentence for the conclusion task and said that even the internet has many benefits for people, lives and society, it also has some negative impacts as well. Okay, and then I'm going to restate my argument from my perspective. Because it is my argument, I start with from my perspective, both the views are right. However, people cannot blame that the internet is not a good place to find information, because the advantages are more than the disadvantages. Okay, so I just rephrase my argument because I am going to debate both the things in body paragraph 1 and 2. In body paragraph 1 all the positive things, and body paragraph 2 all the negative things. So in case at the conclusion I said that both the views are right. We cannot say that internet is 100% correct and internet is 100% wrong, right? So but still at the end I believe that the advantages are more than the disadvantages, right? So this is my rephrased argument over here. Now let's move to the third example. Let's read the question together. Science tells us the activities which are good for our health and which are bad. Millions of people all over the world know this and still do unhealthy activities. Why do you think is, and what can be done to change these? Okay, so this is a different kind of a question. So we are going to focus on the activities which are good for our health, but still some people do unhealthy activities. Why do they do it? And what are the things that we can suggest so that it can be changed? Okay, so now let's read the introduction first. Hook statement. Science advises us the tasks which are excellent for our physical and mental wellness and which are unhealthy. Lots of individuals all over the globe know this but still do undesirable activities. In case of a thesis statement, there are many reasons for these, and I am also going to articulate some solutions. Okay, so over here also I start with the general things and ends with the specific. Science advises the tasks which are excellent for our physical and mental wellness and which are unhealthy, right? This is a general thing. We all know that science advises the task, right? So which are, some are healthy, some are unhealthy, and they just spread awareness. But there are a lot of individuals over the globe, they know this but still do undesirable activities. And why do they do it? That I am going to write down in the coming paragraph, right? Because there are so many reasons in that. So let's move to the conclusion task now. Okay, in case of a conclusion task, the restate the main idea. To conclude, busy and super fast lifestyle have led people to perform more unhealthy activities which are in turn affecting their health. Okay, so these are the ideas, the main ideas that I am going to introduce in the body paragraph 1 and 2, that busy and super fast lifestyle have led people to perform more unhealthy activities, right? The lifestyle is busy and super fast, so people don't have a time, right, for healthy activities, so they are doing the unhealthy kind of a eating and all the kind of a things. Okay, now let's read the restate your argument. There can be multiple measures taken by the government and individual to promote a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so this is my argument, that there can be multiple, this is actually a solution, right? They have asked for the solution, that what are the things that you can suggest that can be changed this kind of a behavior. So in my argument, I suggested that there can be multiple measures taken by the government and individual to promote a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so I just rephrase my argument from the body paragraph 1 and 2 and I wraps up it in one sentence and introduce over here, right? So remember, in case of an introduction which starts with the general and ends with the specific. In case of a conclusion which starts with the specific, right? Here you can see that we have starts with the specific things, that is busy and super fast lifestyle. That is a specific things. I am indicating the specific things that are the reason for the unhealthy activity. Okay, and then I am moving towards the general thing, that government and individual to promote a healthy lifestyle, right? That is a general thing, right? So that is not a specific thing. So remember, this is the difference between introduction and conclusion, and if you can understand it very well, it will be little bit easy for you to write down the introduction as well as the conclusion task, right? So I guess that's it for today in this video, friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any question, then please do mention in the comment section below. If I have done any mistake, then please also mention in the comment section below. And if you found this video helpful, then please give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the Ielts Guide channel. I will see you in the next video soon. Till then, you take care, friends, and bye bye.